Welcome back to the channel, guys. Wednesday's video?
Yep, Wednesday today.
All day. Right, so just finishing off this Cosworth block. Let it cool, and I'm just having to take sort of half a thou out here and there. Make sure it's, you see that is on 0, which is size in the book, but we like to go half a thou over on that because this one is super tuned.
Right.
So run a little bit of extra clearance, mate, on the pistons, just another half a thou.
Yeah.
Just ensures that we're going to be fine, but obviously it's not going to create any issues with piston slap or anything like that.
How are you finding the oily legs? Or is it not splashing on you?
Look at that. Got them out. That's it now. Trousers are away till probably November.
Ideal.
Lovely. Just
I've not
thought I'd treat you. Yeah, so just finishing off this one, mate, and I've got the other 3 pistons now. So we just got 1 piston yesterday. Bit of a communication error, I think. But yeah, quite looking forward to getting on with this now. The customer has given us the go-ahead on the new cams, BD16 cams.
Yep.
So I've ordered those with, I'd sort of pre-ordered them with Ken Newman anyway, but just confirmed with him today, so we should get them by probably the middle of next week, hopefully.
Are they a sort of standard cam then, or are they a...
No, so the BD16s we'll use for their uprated cams, higher lift, higher duration. What we would use for sort of between 500 and 600 horsepower, really.
Right, okay.
Head's obviously been ported. That's over at CTM. So I've got Charlie to supply me some new valves, because the reason this engine come apart was because it had a clang up with the belt. Remember, this is the one that had the
old stock belt.
The old stock belt, yeah, ripped 6 teeth off it.
Yeah.
So we're going to stick a new set of valves in there. Do the guides, the valves, the seats, etc. And yeah, we can crack on and build it, mate.
Yeah.
We've had a bit of a change of plan with the CVH, so I'll quickly just finish this. We'll go and have a look. I sized and balanced the rods, the standard rods. What are you laughing at?
Thinking about the mouse.
Oh, don't. We're coming to that. We're coming to the thumbnail and title in a bit. Sad times. Very sad times. Let's head over to in here anyway. So yeah, I balanced and sized the original rods. Now, I've said to you before that these are a shrink fit on the pin.
Yeah. So
you don't use circlips on the piston with the original pistons. We have Wiseco pistons which run a circlip. So what we've done plenty of times in the past is use these pistons with the original rod, not specifically on the CVH, but on other stuff.
Yeah.
And all you do, because you've got holes in here for, you know, for oil lubrication, etc., so it's absolutely fine. But all we do is just not fit the circlips, put the pin in as we normally do, and the pin just runs in the piston as opposed to the small end, which obviously most different rods would have a bronze bush in there.
Yeah.
So we did that yesterday, mate. Tried one on, didn't I, yesterday?
Yeah.
Heated up the small end, did the usual, fit it all together, didn't quite go in time.
Oh dear.
And what's happened is, the piston goes tight on the pin until it cools down, and then it goes nice and free. It didn't quite go free. So I thought I'll leave it overnight till it goes cool and see what happens. Sure enough, come in this morning and it was, it had pinched up on there. So what the issue was, I do not know. Whether these need a little bit more clearance in the pin. The only thing I was concerned about is if this heats up in the engine when it's running, is it going to happen again?
But
yeah, well, it will do,
yeah.
But if it, you know, I don't know how much heat would cause it to do that. Obviously it's gone cool and it's sort of just still pinched up, so I don't quite know what happened there. But I've had a word with the customer and he said, look, I'll leave it up to you. So I've gone away and ordered some trick rods. Bit annoying because, as I say, these rods are pretty good, and obviously I've balanced them all up on that. But
so with the trick rods, you'll be able to run the clips then.
So we can run the circlips then with the trick rods because they've got the bronze bush in them. Obviously they come with ARP 2000 bolts anyway. So we're just waiting for them at the minute, mate. I've got the few bits on the front. Obviously the crank's all torqued up. Check the running clearance on the mains, and we've got 2 thou, which is perfect.
Ideal.
So yeah, put the new water pump on, new oil pump. So the oil pump goes on the front on this. Obviously new tensioner, which are not easy to get.
No.
These, if you remember, bit of a nightmare. John's just gone down the road to get some new core plug set. So yeah, can't go until I get those rods. Can't really go any further with it. The head's all been done. That's all nice and fresh.
Lovely.
Got the trick pulley and what have you. So yeah, set back on the rods at the moment, mate. With that.
Yeah.
Still waiting for the pistons and what have you for the K series. But you've been cracking on with your second A series of the month, mate, haven't you?
Yeah, got it all sort of ready to build, I suppose, but the only thing I'm waiting on now is a clutch.
Right.
So I can finish balancing the crank.
Oh, okay.
And then I can get it all together after that.
Got it all, got the cam in there, all painted up in the red again, looks nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite nice doing one for the second time, isn't it? In a row, because you know what you're doing now.
Well, yeah, all makes more sense the second time round, doesn't it?
Yeah, ideal, mate.
Yeah, getting there.
Gaping great hole over there.
Yeah.
What's missing?
Don't know. Something. I feel like there's a lack of orange in there.
There is a lack of orange at the moment. The kit car has gone down to Tom's. I said in the last video, wasn't going to hassle him. Really, on the quiet, I've sort of put it in the previous video, not going to hassle him, knowing that he may watch it, and I've hassled him, and So he messaged me last night and said, he asked me a couple of questions on the E30, on the exhaust, what we're going to do there. So we popped down there this morning, had a look at that, come up with a plan on the exhaust. And he said, you may as well bring the kit car over and he'll change the gear linkage over. So I think the man may have saved the gearbox, mate, because we were bound to make an error.
We were going to blow something up.
I couldn't be doing with the stress of having to think about which way to change gear, as well as
trying to deal with the new clutch and throttle, the engine and everything.
It's all a bit too much for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully he can sort that out. He said he'll try and get that done today. So that's all good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very excited for Saturday.
Yeah.
Weather looks good, 22 degrees, full sun. Here's John. And yeah, so really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We're staying over on the Saturday night, aren't we, this time?
Yeah.
As opposed to the night before.
Yeah.
Get down there early. First Castle Combe of the year. Thumbnail and title.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. We've got a problem, Houston. So, a couple of videos ago, you see me tackling this crank here. What's this one? It's a Rover crank, isn't it?
K series, yeah.
Yeah, the K series, yeah. So we got sort of halfway through one side, doing the knife edging. Next thing, now this is all probably a bit of a coincidence. Next thing, the thing I thought seems to be struggling a little bit, this lathe. I've stopped it, wouldn't start again. So I've set John on the task of removing all this, see what's going on. And I do seem to remember we had a problem with one of the gears inside here. Something's come adrift, one of the clutches or something. And it gives it the feel of it seizing up, but it actually hasn't. So John sorted that, put it all back together, doesn't even turn on. He said it sort of did for a minute and then stopped. So
when you press the green button, nothing happens?
Yeah, so we've got high and low speed here
for
the motor. This is to turn the motor on, the main motor, and this is to start it up. Nothing happens at all, mate.
At all.
So Brad, our trusty electrician, give him a Raw Electrics, he's called Brad, give him a phone call. He was here within 20 minutes. The bloke's a legend.
Yeah.
Had a few quid out of me mind in the past. But yeah, he was here. He's took that panel out there, mate.
Yeah.
And you never guess what's happened.
What's happened?
got a little mouse committed suicide in the electrics. So, pure
honestly.
coincidence. I mean, you couldn't write it, could you?
No.
I've got, not only have I got to get this done this week, but I've also got that barrel to stick in here and turn. Because Chris, who I mentioned in the last video, he's on holiday, wants to pick that up at the end of the week. So I said I'd get that done so he could take it back with him. Not that it's a major rush, I could stick it in the post, but it would just be ideal, really. So I've got a couple of jobs to do on here, and a mouse has committed suicide in the electrics. He's ate through the 3-phase. Weren't looking pretty on one side, was he?
Not looking pretty.
No,
it pretty much scalped him.
He was as rigid as you could get.
Oh, he was like, there was no moisture left in him either.
No.
Driest thing I've ever seen.
One side of him looked pretty good. The other side looked like he'd been hit by a few volts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Definitely wouldn't clickbait.
No.
Anything like that.
No, we have had a loss.
We have had a loss today of the machine and a member of the workshop. So, you know.
A resident.
So Brad's had to go off and try and find a component. It's obviously these things are all getting a bit old. Although this is a Colchester, I think. So it's a common sort of make, and he reckons he can get a bit. So hopefully he can get that this week.
Might need to tell him to grab a couple of mouse traps as well, and a block of cheese.
Well, we've got one in here, but
expensive.
It's
expensive to run though.
It is really. That mouse has cost me a few quid, but I've got to try and look sad really. So yeah, hopefully we can get it sorted this week, mate. But rest in peace, Mousy. Right, just quickly, let's catch Isaac under pressure. He's just putting the pistons on the rods for the Mini. Thought we'd catch you under pressure, mate.
You have a little bit.
I like your setup.
Yeah, John showed me that.
It's quite good, isn't it? Yeah. I do it the other way around with the rod in the vise, but that's probably a better way because when you finish with a blowtorch, you've got to try and put it down, haven't you?
Yeah.
Not great. You get the pin in all right, but you end up burning your ankles off.
Yeah.
Not brilliant.
It's tricky, this, to be fair. Sort of a bit.
Looked like you got the hang of it, though.
A little bit. It's all right with these mini pistons, because they've got flaps on either side. You can just, like, press your finger and thumb around it. And
Oh, I see.
it, like, stops it coming out.
Ah, that's a good idea.
And then you've just got to worry about how it is in the middle.
So what have you got to get them nearly red hot or pretty warm?
Pretty much red hot, yeah.
You normally find the thicker the small end, the more meat on it, the hotter you got to get it, really. But
Yeah.
so what, we got one more to go?
One more.
Go on then, mate.
Where I messed up last time.
Come on then, mate. See if you can do it under pressure. Yeah, so you've just got to basically, obviously make sure that your piston and your rod are the right way around. You see Isaac's put arrows there, which is a great idea. And then obviously make sure that your pin slides through the piston all the way before you even attempt doing this. And then you just heat the small end up and make sure that you're basically just all set up, ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah, so like you said, check that goes through all right.
Yeah, make sure it's a nice slide fit.
And I've got an arrow on the bottom.
I've just noticed that, yeah, I just said that's a good idea, that, mate.
I get all panicked otherwise. I think, oh no, I've done it the wrong way. But
Yeah,
can't go wrong then.
ideal.
So,
Boy's getting the hang of it.
got an arrow on there as well.
Yeah. You normally find you don't notice it getting red on the edges until you sort of take it away from the flame. So you've got to periodically just keep pulling it away. Obviously making sure you don't burn your hands off. See, that's getting warm now because the flame's coming out sort of orange past the rod. Usually the telltale sign. Just put the pin in, obviously making sure the pin's the same distance through the piston, and the rod is pretty much as central as you can.
That's it.
That's it. Well done, mate. Did it under pressure.
Yeah.
Sweaty. There we go for another video, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. Until Friday, we'll see you then. Take care, guys.